The stars overhead cast little light, so when I lift my mini flashlight and shine it down into the water, I see... No. It's a body. Sammy is growling at a body floating in the water. For a long moment, I stare at it, really stare at it, because humans think we see ourselves everywhere, right? The trash bag on the side of the road, we think it's a body for that first half a second before we realize the truth. We see human faces in pieces of toast, in weird wallpaper designs on the walls. We're trained to search for human resemblance in things. Maybe it's instinctual. So, it's probably trash, is my initial and somewhat desperate thought. The river is, after all, pretty polluted. But when I stare at the shape longer, I start to face facts. That doesn't look like trash at all. It looks like a body. But I don't want it to be a body. I don't want it to be someone who drowned or someone who was murdered or dumped in the Buffalo River, because that would be awful. My heart aches as I stare down at the body-shaped thing. I swallow, trying to make my hand stop shaking as I hold the flashlight higher, trying to make out features. And then my heart falls out of my chest, or at least it feels like it does, because those floaty bits riding the water's surface are hair. Long strands of hair. Yeah, that's a body. Oh, God, I moan, my fingers tightening in the fur of Sammy's coat. He leans his shoulder against me, either to comfort me or to comfort himself. I have to do something, call someone. Should I call 911? I've never called 911 in my life. Is that what you do when you find a dead body? I don't have my cell phone on me, I realize. Then, it's back in the Series. I left it charging in the kitchen. Sammy and I stare at the body in the water, and I try to decide what to do. And that's when, well, I think my eyes are playing tricks on me. But I could have sworn the body moved. It's summer, and we haven't had much rain this year. The newscasters have been talking about a drought, so the river is low and sluggish, and the body hasn't drifted far from the place where I first noticed it, bobbing gently on the surface of the dark water. But as I trained my tiny flashlight beam on it a moment ago, I thought I saw the head move. I gulp down air, lean over the edge of the escarpment, and squint. And the body moves again. The right hand comes up, the skin pale white, cadaverous, I think. Still, the hand rose from the water vertically, not in any way that a current could pull a limb. Oh my God, the person in the water is alive. But he or she is floating face down. I weigh my options for a split second as I reach up and squeeze my fingers around my gold pendant. And then I'm tossing my purse to the ground, kicking off my flats, looping Sammy's leash around one of the metal poles on the side of the wall, and I leap into the water. I wasn't prepared for it to be so cold. We haven't had the warmest summer, and it was a cloudy day with a particularly spectacular thunderstorm earlier. The storm had just been clearing up when I brought the boxes of pizza back to the Series. There was no sun today to warm the water. God, it's freezing. I gasp as my head breaks through the surface. I'm treading water as I glance around madly, trying to place the body now. I'd leapt down with my flashlight, but when I hit the water, the flashlight spun out of my hand. It's gone. And that means that there's no light for me to see by other than the far distant shine of stars. It's pitch black down here between the metal walls, and for a brief second, I panic. I can't see a thing. I can't see the body I threw myself into the river to save, and I have no idea how I'm going to climb out of here when I reach said person, if I can even find them. Okay, think, Mara. I take a deep breath, squelching my panic. First things first. Find the body. Or rather, find the person. It's not a body anymore, it's a living person. But he or she might not live for much longer if I don't act fast. I glance up to where Sammy is peering over the edge of the escarpment. He isn't staring down at me. He's still staring at the person in the water. His nose is pointed to my left. So I set off with a strong breaststroke to my left. And after 3 strokes, I stop, treading water, and I check in with Sammy again. He's still peering to my left, so I swim some more, gasping against the cold. My hand bumps something in the water. I scream. Just a little. But what I hit was soft, and it felt like a person. I draw in a deep breath. I didn't expect to run into him or her so suddenly. I thought I'd be able to see them by now, be able to make out something when I got close. But the darkness is too absolute to see my hand in front of my face. I reach out, and my hand brushes against something soft again, and then hard. The back of the person's head.